Hi, my name is Taiba, and here are the answers to the questions that you provided. So the first question was challenges for migrants. In my view, I believe that one of the biggest challenges faced by new migrants in the UK is this growing negativity and hostility that they often exposed to. So particularly promoted through the media. This negative portrayal of migrants can often create social barriers, fuel discrimination, hence why there was a migrant protest that recently happened, and making it harder for migrants to feel welcome and integrated in their communities. Beyond the practical challenges for migrants, such as housing, employment, and navigating complex systems, I do believe the social stigma fostered by such narratives can impact confidence, opportunities, and overall well-being. Secondly is the community solution. So if I were to design one project to improve life in the local community, I would create a series of multi-diversity events where migrants and local residents could come together to share their experiences. So this would include like cultural food fairs, traditional clothing showcases, and open discussions so they can create a safe and welcoming space to celebrate the diverse backgrounds. And I think this project would not only help migrants feel more included, but it values and encourages understanding, reduces stereotypes, and then also strengthens the community bond. Thirdly is about young people's roles. So to make sure that young people are not just participating, but they're also leaders in these community activities, it's important to give them real decision-making powers. So opportunities to shape projects from the start. And this could be through youth advisory boards, mentoring schemes, or assigning them more leadership roles so they can help be more involved in the planning and the running of events. You can help provide trainings for them and encouragement through making a platform for them to share their ideas so that they feel like their voice is heard and that they are developing the leadership skills at such a young age. On your fourth question about scaling up projects, so if a project does work well in one town, the key of scaling up is first assessing the similarities and differences between the towns and cities you're just going to scale up to. So each community has their own demographics, their own needs, cultural dynamics. So understanding these factors are essential. So by keeping the core idea of your original project consistent, but you just make slight adjustments to the project so it reflects the social or the local context, such as adapting activities, venues, communication methods, we can just make sure that the project feels more relevant and inclusive for wherever it's been introduced. On your fifth question about measuring success, so we can measure success on community projects by either gathering feedback directly from participants, and this can be through forms and surveys. We can ask them about their experiences, what they gained, and suggestions for their improvement. But alongside this, success can also be measured through the level of engagement, so the number of people attending the event, the diversity of the participants, and whether participants are likely to return and recommend the projects to other people. So over time, observing stronger connections between community members and then increasing collaboration will be the key factor of the success of our projects. On your sixth question about keeping motivated, so after a project finishes, we can keep people motivated and involved by staying connected to them. So collecting their contact details or sending regular emails, updates on upcoming projects, new projects, opportunities for them to get involved, so then we can help maintain that engagement. You can create mailing lists, community newspapers, and even social media groups that can help the sense of community stay alive. And it just reminds people of the impacts that's already been made and encourages them to continue to take part. On your seventh question about partnerships, so I think we should work with a range of local partners to make this community projects more effective. So firstly, schools can be involved in running awareness raising events to help children learn and appreciate and understand migrants from an early age. You can reach out to the council to get support and help organize larger community events to bring together different groups all together. And then you can also reach out to local communities, businesses to help provide resources, volunteers to create a space, so we can create a network to support and ensure that the projects reach and benefit as many people as possible. On your 8th questions about strengths, so I feel like the most important qualities for helping organizing these projects for the community is firstly empathy, this desire to help others, and then also organization. And I feel I possess all 3 of these qualities. Firstly, empathy. I feel like I'm empathetic. I use my own life experiences to try to help and understand and support others. I also come from a working class background. My parents were migrants, and I experienced homelessness during my youth. So all of these experiences help humble me, firstly, and it helps me be able to relate to others who are struggling, because I know life isn't easy. It's difficult being a migrant, it's difficult being working class, and there's so many challenges that you experience in life. And one of the life lessons I learned while growing up with these issues is that people can be understanding. I restricted myself from talking about my issues to everybody or anybody, but then I ended up opening up to my friends, and I realized that being open, having someone to discuss this with, helped me go through these challenges. So being able to create that space will help support the community. And then also organization skills. I feel like this is my biggest strength. I'm usually very on it in terms of making sure I'm meeting deadlines. In my previous appointment as a paid search specialist, I never usually miss a deadline. I'm always on top of tasks. I have a whole system on how to make sure I meet those deadlines. One of which is to-do list is my go-to. I make a to-do list of everything, breaking down larger tasks to smaller tasks, so then I know what's achievable and when it's achievable. I use my calendar quite a bit to put deadlines. It could be small deadlines just to remind myself, okay, this is upcoming, I need to complete this smaller task at X date. So then I'm usually on top of it and make sure the deadlines are never missed and everything is done the way it's just supposed to be. On your question 9 on creative ideas, I feel like you can use social media to make personal messages to the public. So for example, on TikTok or Instagram Reels, you can do short videos where you allow migrants to talk about their experiences, talk about their tradition, or actually their talents that they bring to the community. And on YouTube you can do a longer video, but it's more to do a day in the life of this migrant, a bit of behind the scenes of the videos, of community events, just making it more real, relatable, and then celebrating diversity and encouraging more people, especially young people, to be involved in the local projects. And lastly, final thoughts. So if I could change one thing in the UK to make it a better place for migrants and young people, I think it's just making people more accepting and more aware of migrants' rights in this country. Making sure that people are feeling safe and comfortable going to public places, services and opportunities without feeling like they're going to be discriminated, and just make it more inclusive, more welcoming, so migrants and young people can fully participate and they can thrive and they can become successful in their life without that burden and fear.